Nadiya Hussain's Time to Eat. That's the cookbook that we're reviewing today, so grab a mug of your favorite beverage and join me for today's nutrition coffee chat. And while you're at it, click the subscription button below and the little notification bell so that you get everything you need to create healthy eating habits that stick. Ooh, well, who else here is a fan of the Great British Baking Show? If you are, you'll recognize Nadiya Hussain. She was the winner one year, I think 2015. Not certain about that year, but if you're a fan, let me know. Share in the comment section below a little icon related to baking. I don't know, maybe a chef's hat or a piece of cake, something like that. It'd be fun to see who else here who's watching this video is also a fan of the Great British Baking Show. But yes, when I saw one of the community members here, I put out a request saying, what cookbooks do you want me to review? One person responded, oh, they wanted me to review Nadiya Hussain's baking cookbook, which wasn't quite a fit here because we talk about healthy eating and making it fit in your life. But when I saw, that she had this cookbook here, Time to Eat, I thought, absolutely, we will review that cookbook. So thank you to the community member who kind of got me going in that direction. And especially when I saw what the subtitle was to this cookbook, I thought, aha, absolutely, I will be jumping on that cookbook review. Because the clients whom I serve are busy people who value healthy eating. They want to make healthy eating work in their busy life. I'm a busy person, probably you are a busy person, and so check out this book, Time to Eat, Delicious Meals for Busy Lives. Yes, please sign me up. We got to check out this cookbook. And so I really like that she does have that kind of theme throughout this cookbook. She has it interwoven in many ways. And as I'm recording this, it's November, and so it's starting to be holiday season. So if you know someone who's busy and you're thinking, oh, maybe it could be a Christmas gift or a holiday gift, let me tell you, this is a nice hardcover book, and it has beautiful pictures in there. Not every single recipe has a photo. You always want to know if that's true, but many do. Beautiful images. So nice glossy pages. This makes a great gift for yourself or for someone with the holiday season coming up. And I really like how she organizes it. Straightforward, get to the point, as she said, delicious meals for busy lives. I love that. And so the organization of the table of contents is how to use this book. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, desserts, basics, index, and thanks. Boom. Straight to it. No kind of complicated or creative way of organizing this book that, takes us more time to get our heads wrapped around then, and we're busy. We don't necessarily have that time. So boom, straight to it. Love that. Let's get into the recipes and which ones I tried and my review of them. First recipe was in the breakfast section, slow cooker rice. Getting the slow cooker in action to make breakfast. Love that idea, so I had to jump in on this. It also involves black rice, which is why it creates that beautiful color, and I never thought of having black rice for breakfast. This breakfast was delicious if you love like a rice pudding. It had a lot of those flavor notes. It was really quite rich and quite sweet. My sweetheart loved it. I would say if I will be making this recipe again, but I'm going to cut back on some of the richness. It used a lot of cream and whole milk, butter and sugar, and I'm going to use more milk, less cream, probably less butter and less sugar when I make this again, but absolutely worth making it again. And a lot of her recipes will have this type of a theme. You can tell she is a baker first. There's a lot of baking throughout, and some of the meals are on that richer side. The next recipe, lentil and orange soup. This one didn't have an image with it. I wasn't as big a fan of this. I think that was just more of a personal taste thing, but my sweetheart and I, we found the orange flavor just far too prominent. It tasted like you were eating like orange juice trying as a soup. where what we did though, because it makes a bit of a bigger batch, is I added a lot more veggies, some other stock, some more lentils, and so kind of use it as a jumping off point for a soup. And so that orange flavor was dialed down, and then it was delicious. So yeah, I think that might just be a flavor preference thing. Creamy marinara chicken. I have to say that this is an example of her amazing flavor profiles in her recipes. She does awesome things with flavor profiles. Simple basics like chicken breast, and yet boom, lots of flavor there. It was a big hit in my household. Many of her recipes were, and I thought that was a real strength here. They're simple recipes. A lot of the recipes, I think this is one of them, where you make basically like a double batch at the same time, and then you either put it either directly into the freezer, or you cook both batches kind of separate, and then you have one that you can put in the fridge or the freezer for another day. That's a great example. So this cookbook is a great example of how to apply the while you're at it technique that I shared in a previous video this month. I'll link that video down below here so you know what I'm talking about. But fantastic technique, and I thought, ooh, she's using it in this cookbook, just woven right in. Love that. Moving along, prawn Malay rice. Oh, this, such a simple recipe. So quick, and the family loved it. I have made this several times since then. Beautiful recipe, big, as I said, big hit in my household. Coronation Tuna. Now this one didn't have the photo. Don't let that dissuade you. This recipe, ooh, home run. Huge hit within my family. I tried this recipe in the summertime, and I made it again and again and again and again and again. I mean, it almost ruins regular tuna salad because this is such a beautiful flavor profile, and it's like, 2 extra steps than making a tuna salad. And I mean, how easy is tuna salad to make? So love this recipe. This recipe is like, the cookbook is worth this recipe alone, and you will see I had many other recipes that were successes in here too. Moving along, teriyaki salmon with mango salsa. Oh, this again was a big hit, and she makes making a mango salsa quite a simple thing to do. Teriyaki salmon, I mean, a beautiful hit. Now in this one, she uses minute rice. I didn't use a minute rice because that glycemic index is just so high with it. Woof, it's going to spike the blood sugar. Instead, I do have a rice cooker, and so I cooked some parboiled rice in the rice cooker, which again, really simple, no work really involved in it, and was able to put the dinner on the table. But yeah, beautiful dish, beautiful meal, with just that one little change. Moving on, roast chicken with lemon couscous. Again, no photo for this one. Don't let that dissuade you. Simple recipe. I mean, lemon and roast chicken is a classic, and it's a classic for a reason. And one of the nice things about doing a roast chicken is it's not a lot of work, and you get a lot of food with it. So great. Chorizo fish stew with garlic bread. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I'm not a baker, and so I did not make the garlic bread for this recipe. I just made the stew. And this stew was one of those dishes where you see the ingredients and you're like, I've never seen those ingredients paired together before. I like all those things, but will they work together? That always intrigues me, and that's often a reason why I try a recipe. And this time, it was a flop. It didn't work. The smoked salmon, the white fish, and the chorizo all didn't quite work together in a tomato sauce base. Like the smoked salmon aside, white fish, chorizo in a tomato base, that's a classic combination of flavors, very widely used. Many different cultures have their versions of that type of a thing. Wonderful. But the smoked salmon in there, it didn't work. It felt like a couple different dishes kind of clashing together. So this one I would say is a flop, and I would recommend skipping it. Or make it, but without the salmon in there. Moving on, chicken shawarma. Oh, this was a huge hit and made it so easy. This dish was so easy to prepare, threw it in the oven, forget about it. Again, it's one of those ones where you get like 2 batches out of one time effort. And yeah, it was a huge hit. Same with the next one, tandoori oven chicken with brown butter rice. Again, taking simple chicken to amazing flavor profiles, huge hits in my family. I will be doing these more. I think I'm going to be going back to these recipes again and again. And then rounding it out, I had to try at least one thing from the dessert section. Now, the dessert section, I admit, a lot of them intimidated me. I'm a fan of watching the show, The Great British Bake Off, because these people are doing something that I do not have the talent for. So I watch it not because I do it, but because I appreciate the expertise that these folks have. But the least intimidating looking recipe in here was the chocolate chip pan cookie. Again, didn't have a photo for it. And yeah, I found the texture a little hard for me. I don't know if I ended up cooking it too long or did something wrong. I'm not sure. But I tried this in the summer when I wanted to cook something sweet for the kids to go to day camp, but it was hot and I didn't want to turn on the oven. So I thought, oh, something I can just do in the pan, that'll be a hit. The kids loved it. There was tons of chocolate, tons of butter in there. I mean, it was going to taste good, but you really had to have some strong teeth for the texture. So I don't know, as I said, if I cooked it too long, did something wrong. I suspect this recipe is just fine. It was the follower that made the error there. But those are the recipes that I chose. Do I recommend this cookbook? Yeah, I do recommend the cookbook. Just because there was a couple of flops in there doesn't mean that it's not worth it. The hits were huge hits. And sometimes I get bored of the dishes that I make all the time and kind of the same flavor profiles. And I know I'm going to be dipping back into this cookbook because she had so many recipes that were simple ingredients, simple techniques, and yet, boom, major flavor. So I know I'm going to want to get back into that again and again as I get bored. So if that sounds like something that is up your alley, strong flavor profiles, delicious meals for busy lives, appropriate title, she definitely delivers on that. I recommend popping down to your local bookstore to get it, or if you buy your books off of Amazon, I encourage you to use the link in the description box below there. When you do so, you give me a little bit of income from your purchase at no extra expense to you. If you like today's video, let me know. Click the thumbs up button below. I've got a couple other cookbook reviews here with quick recipes for busy lives. Have a good couple of weeks, and in the meantime, enjoy healthy eating.